Hey everybody, welcome to Rush Reality. My name is Sam. Thank you so much for joining me. Now that I've had the Quest 3 for a little while, I've been able to get under the skin of what is really needed to get a fantastic experience from this thing. I've been accessorizing, I've been adding on, I've been upgrading, and I've been changing a few things up. So today I thought I'd talk you through my favourite accessories, add-ons, or software that is needed to really get the most from this headset. Let's take a look. So, as I'm sure you'll notice immediately, the first thing that's changed since my review video of this product is the head strap on the back. Gone is the flimsy fabric head strap that comes with the Quest 3, and I've chosen to replace it with Meta's own Elite head strap. Now I'm quite surprised I ended up doing that because I never ran the Elite strap on the Quest 2 because there were so many negative reviews about it. Instead, I tried out many different aftermarket head straps before settling on Kiwi's head strap with the battery in the back. And I've got some of those hidden away. I've even got the Bobo M2 that could be adapted to fit on this headset. But I chose to go with the Elite head strap. Now the reason for that is that the Quest 3 is a much smaller and sleeker product than the Quest 2, and I didn't like the idea of putting a really big bulky head strap on the back. I felt like that could taint the experience a little bit, and I like the fact that Meta's own Elite strap is so minimalist. You've got the two plastic arms on the back, you've got a little bit of rubber padding, and you've got the fabric on the top. A little ratchet at the back so you can tighten it up and loosen it, and it works pretty well. I'll also mention that if you haven't upgraded your head strap yet, they've made it so much easier than it was on the Quest 2. You literally just pop these off like that, and then pop your new ones on top. Job done. It's that simple. With the Quest 2, it was always a pain to get those connections off, and it always felt like a really big job swapping out your head strap, so I'm glad they made it so quick and simple. So is Meta's Elite strap the best option for the Quest 3? Well, it is still expensive in comparison to what other companies would charge. Now, there aren't many companies that are doing straps for the Quest 3 yet. At the moment, you've only really got companies like Bobo, and they are coming in cheaper than the Elite strap, but as I say, they do look quite a lot bulkier. It's not the most comfortable head strap I've ever experienced, but it is quite good, and it's a massive step up from the fabric one. It all feels locked onto your head. There's no real shake as you're moving. Everything feels like it's made to fit, and that's pretty good. Now, the problem with the Elite strap for the Quest 2 was that the plastic always ended up getting really brittle and breaking. There's lots of warranty claims and lots of people who had to buy a new strap because theirs broke just outside the warranty period. Now, I haven't seen quite so many complaints with this one yet, but it is still early days, so time will tell if they've managed to fix that problem. Now, personally, one of the reasons I opted for this was that I had some credit for the game store and they happened to have this in stock. Now, maybe I wouldn't have picked it up if that wasn't the case, but I am glad I did because I do think it's a very sleek experience. So that's comfort down, which is potentially one of the most important upgrades you can make with a VR headset. But the second most important upgrade, and something that I've done on every VR headset I've owned in the last 3 or 4 years, is to upgrade the visuals. Now, once again, I've partnered with VR Rock. VR Rock are an awesome company that make lens inserts for your headset. So if you wear glasses or you wear contact lenses, you're able to use your prescription in your headset. Now, I'm happy to say that VR Rock have taken on all criticisms that I've ever leveled at their products previously and have adapted this to make the best VR lenses I've ever used. Now, previously, I've thought of the VR lenses as a bit of a trade-off because they absolutely improve the visuals, but they take up quite a bit of space. And they always bought those lenses quite a bit closer to your eyes, meaning you need to situate the headset further away, reduce your field of view, or feel them touching against your eyes. Now, these ones are the smallest form factor prescription lenses I've ever used. I'm really impressed with what they've done. Once again, the visuals look fantastic. Now, I should wear glasses, and I always do wear glasses for reading or computer work, but I haven't got the strongest prescription in the world. But it does make a dramatic difference when I wear them in a VR headset. Now, with this set of lenses, I've taken to wearing them pretty much constantly. The only time that the lenses come off the headset is when I'm passing it around to other people or when I happen to be wearing contact lenses, which is something I do every now and then. Obviously, I'm not going to pop them off just to play some VR. Now, thankfully, for those rare experiences, these lenses continue to be magnetically mounted. So I can just lift off the top portion, which comes away as a nice thin little bit of plastic there, and then I've got the headset ready to be worn by someone else. Now, they've still got the lens mounts on inside that headset, but they don't really add any extra size to the lenses that are already on there. So it's nice and easy for me to hand the headset over to someone else or play when I'm using something like contact lenses. Now, when I want to put them back in the headset, I just touch them on the top there, the magnets line up, snaps into place, and we're good to go. It really is quick, simple, and easy. Honestly, if you wear glasses and you haven't already got some prescription lenses for your headset, then you need to go and get some. It is a massive difference. Now, as always, I've partnered up with VR Rock so I can offer a discount to my viewers. So just click the link in the description of this video and use code RUSH. That will get you 10% off what are already some of the most competitively priced VR lenses on the market. By supporting them, you'll be supporting me, so thank you very much. The next accessories that I've been using most often with this headset are actually things I already owned. So that's fantastic. It didn't cost me any extra money and it's been vital to my experience. Now, I love PCVR. I've got a fantastic gaming PC just behind me, so I like to connect up and get the best experience I can from my headset. The Quest 3 is absolutely fantastic for PCVR, a massive step up from the experience I got on the Quest 2. Sometimes I like to play wirelessly, so I've got lots of freedom and I get a really good experience that way, but sometimes I do like to connect via a link cable so that I can get the highest quality visuals I can. You always get less compression when you're playing via a cable and your battery life lasts so much longer. Now, I've been jumping between two different cables depending on what experience I'm looking for at that time. The first is Meta's own link cable. Now, very similar to the Elite Headstrap, this is a pretty good bit of kit, but it comes with a bit of a price tag. Whereas if you were to use something made by another company, you could get almost the same quality, but at a much better price. Now, I've had this for a while and it is my go-to link cable. Now, the reason for that, and you might think I'm being really picky here, but I promise you it makes a massive difference, is that this is a nice, soft, thin, supple cable. So when you're playing, it doesn't feel like you're dragging around a big weight over your shoulder. It kind of just disappears into the experience and it's much more natural to play with than any other cable that I've come across. I like it. It's a decent length and it just does the job, but it is pricey. And I do also use another cable, which is much cheaper and actually has added features. That product is an Amazon product and it is the horrifically named 16-foot USB 3 4 Gen 1 link cable for Quest 2 TY-LC3. Now that is a mouthful, it's not very well branded, but this is a very cool product. Now what's impressive about this cable is that it actually has its own isolated power supply. So right at the start of the cable, you've got this little breakout box, and here is a USB-C port. You plug the USB 3 into the PC, you plug your Quest's own power supply into this little breakout box, and then you plug the USB connector at the end into your headset. What that does is it's able to actively manage your power during gameplay. If you play with Meta's link cable, your power will actually drain over time, and you're not able to play for a particularly extended time. But with this connected, your headset will always stay at max, and you still get the full 5 GB per second data connection, and it comes in a fairly thick, durable, braided design. That means it's going to last for a long time, but it does feel much more substantial than the link cable from Meta. I don't know if you can see here, but it's quite a bit thicker and it's just much more rigid. So I tend to choose which cable to use depending on which experience I'm playing. If I want some extended gameplay but I'm still looking for lots of movement and I want those great visuals, I'll go for Meta's link cable. If I want long playtime and I'm not really thinking about moving around too much, maybe it's sim racing or something like that, I'll choose this one. Do you need both? No, of course you don't. I bought this one was sent to me, but whichever one you get, you're going to get a fantastic experience, and I really do think using a cable can be one of the best ways to play PCVR. So don't necessarily overlook it just because you've got AirLink or Virtual Desktop. So what about when you're not playing PCVR, when it's standalone Quest 3 gameplay, but you still want that extended game time? Well, I have been relying on this Pidashu 2700 milliamp Powerbank. Now previously I'd used a 10,000 milliamp Powerbank for the Quest 2 and been pretty happy with my experience. But powerbanks have come along such a long way in such a short space of time. Now the 2700 milliamp hours you get in this thing is enough to charge your headset from empty and still have plenty to play with after that. It's really impressive, and this is a fast charge unit. Now jump on Amazon and you'll see lots of options that do a very similar job, but I'm happy with this one. It's got a display so you can see how much power's in there. It's got a USB-C connection, it's got 2 USB 3 connections, you can have 2 things charging at once, and it charges really, really quickly. And you know what? It was a really good price. I'll put a link to this one, but you don't need to look at exactly this one. There is lots of things that will do similar. Just make sure you have one to hand. I tend to stick it in my back pocket with the USB cable that came with the headset plugged in and then just kind of draped behind my back, and I don't even notice it's there when I'm playing. It really is worth having, and power banks are useful anyway, even if you're going to use it for your phone or your tablet. So next up are a little stack of things I keep to hand to protect the lenses on my headset. Now first up, I've got a lens cover. Now you can get these for pennies. They're on Amazon. They tend to get sent free alongside lots of things. I've got a few made by VR Cover. I've got some made by Kiwi. Got lots of different ones, plenty lying around. And I always make sure I have one left on my headset lenses when I'm not playing. Now why? That's because if you happen to catch a bit of sunlight into your lenses, it can absolutely ruin them. Just jump onto any Quest or VR forum and you'll soon run into someone who's found a couple of white dots on their lenses, wondering how they got there and wondering how to fix it. Now that is not an easy problem to fix, it's a problem you want to avoid. So make sure you cover those lenses and stop some sunlight getting in. You also want to keep them clean. So I always have sat on top of that lens protector a microfiber cloth. So whenever you've been playing, if you've got a little bit sweaty or if maybe you've caught your hair on it and got a bit of oils on the lenses, you just want to wipe it down and make sure it's all clean. You don't want to use your t-shirt because you can scratch those lenses, so make sure you have a proper microfiber cloth ready to go. Again, these tend to get included with other things quite often, so I'm not regularly buying them, but if you haven't got one, you'll get them for about £1 or so on Amazon. Make sure you have one to hand because it can make or break your headset. And the last thing I have and use constantly for when I'm just not happy with how clean the lenses are getting with the microfiber cloth is one of these, a condom. It's not really a condom, that is a lens wipe, the kind of thing you use for glasses. Now these make a massive difference. It always feels like my headset is brand new again every time I wipe it down with a proper lens wipe. Now you can use any lens wipe and there are some pretty good priced ones out and about, but I particularly like the ones that come with the anti-fog or anti-mist protection. Now that it's starting to get a little bit colder, your headset will start misting and fogging up. I mean, me personally, I play in this studio. This is in the 3rd floor, it's a converted loft, and it can get quite cold. So when I come up and I'm warm, I put it on in a cold room, it soon fogs up. I will say the Quest 3 is doing that quite a bit less than the Quest 2 did, but it definitely is still happening. So it's great to have a bit of that anti-fog protection on your lenses, and it does make a bit of difference. It's worth having, but it's not magic, and they will still fog up in the right conditions. So that's the accessories and add-ons, but I said software as well. Now there is one piece of software that I use to enhance my experience, and that is the Quest Game Optimiser. Just Google Quest Game Optimiser and you'll see it come up. The recent version is version 9. This is a little app you purchase separately from the Quest store. You buy it as an APK and you have to install it onto your headset. Now to do that, you'll need either an Android phone or a PC or laptop to connect to. You don't need anything particularly powerful. You're not going to be running any games through it. You just need to run the installer. Now for me, whenever I'm installing an APK, I always use SideQuest. It's really quick and really easy. You've got plenty of options. Now it costs just $9.99. And what it does is it optimizes your games for the best experiences. Now you might be thinking, well, I'm sure the developers do that anyway. Well, what this does is it puts the control in your hands. Now most of the games I play have got pre-made profiles already put together. What it will do is give you the option. Do you want to play in battery saver mode that will kind of power things down but extend your playtime? Nah. Do you want to play in HD mode with some better, brighter visuals? That could be good. Or maybe you want to play in HD+, the highest fidelity experience you can get, where it really raises the resolution and focuses on the clarity of the experience. Now you might not know this, but most of the apps running on the Quest 3 don't run at its full resolution. It actually powers down to about 75%. Now it's a shame to not take advantage of that full range if you can. Not all games will be able to because some will struggle, but they've already gone through and they've chosen the best settings for each game and they've built these profiles. Honestly, it can make a dramatic difference. Now, some of the games that it makes the biggest difference in are games that were made for the Quest 2 and haven't received any sort of Quest 3 specific patch. Now, these guys have done all the hard work for the developers. All you need to do is open the Quest Game Optimiser, launch the game from their in-game menu and choose the profile you want. Maybe you want to focus on performance, power down the visuals a little bit, but get the highest refresh rate you can. Now that can make a massive difference in a really fast moving game where you haven't got time to stop and stare at the details, but you want to make sure everything is fluid and accurate. You even get access to each individual setting yourself so you can build the perfect experience. I've considered going through and building patches that kind of optimize the experience for when I'm recording video, because that can put a little bit of task on the CPU, so maybe it won't be that perfect experience that I would get with the kind of HD plus setting. But whichever profile you opt for, I think you'll get a really good experience. There's also some extra settings for things like video recording. If you want a very specific output, this can be the way to get it. So there you have it. They are my top accessories, add-ons, upgrade, and software to really get the best experience from the Quest 3. If you've enjoyed this video, or if you found it useful, then a like would be appreciated, and a sub to the channel would be amazing. I'd love to see you next time. Thank you very much. Goodbye.